Hi, I'm Sienna, and would really like to improve my standing broad jump so that I can make the inter-school team. I'm really motivated to improve because I know that I have the potential to do well and make the team. I just need to do some specific training to help me to improve my strength and power. I'm really lucky because I live in Camberwell and they have plenty of ovals and parks for me to practice. This is also great because when my parents can't drive me, I can walk or catch a train to the ovals.
We designed the lesson for Sienna and the whole class to focus particularly on their muscular strength and power in their arms, abs, and of course their legs. Anatomically speaking, the main focus areas in our lesson are the quads, the hamstrings, and the glute muscles. So we utilise all of these muscle groups in our activities while still engaging the arms and ab muscles too.
The key teaching points we really try to push in the lesson are using a big arm drive, a deep squat, lifting the knees in the jump, and finishing with a dorsiflex landing to achieve optimal distance. All of these cues are specific to triple and long jump too. This is a lesson that the whole class can use to improve their leg strength and power. And for a student like Sienna, who has set a goal to make the school team, she can take some of these exercises away and do them in her own time.
And we've also got some progressions and modifications in all the activities, which we'll discuss in the instructional part of the video. But for someone like Sienna, who is interested in challenging herself and improving herself, she can take these away and do them in her own time outside of class. Okay, so before any session, we start off with an introduction. So I'm just going to introduce the kids to the session, what we'll be going through, what the main objectives are for the session. And as you can see here, I've got them facing towards me, so I'm facing the sun, so there's no distractions, so they're focusing on what I'm saying as opposed to, glaring away from me. So for warm-up today, they're going to be doing skip rope. So they'll do this for about 3 minutes, spread out on the oval. Everyone gets a skip rope each. If there's not enough skip ropes, then they do get into pairs. One skips for 30 seconds, the other one jogs on the spot for 30 seconds, and they just keep switching over. So I'll be timing that, but we've got skip ropes today. So 3 minutes of skipping, spread out on the oval. So if you guys just want to demonstrate some skipping for us. And then after 3 minutes, they'll get into pairs just according to who they're standing with, and they will do make-up combinations and challenge their friends with their different skip rope combinations. And this is just warming up all the muscles that they'll be using in the session and the broad jump. So the leg muscles, they're engaging their core, using a bit of their arms as well. So good work, guys. So for our first activity here, it's called lily pad. So we've got coloured dots spread out on the oval. They'll be in bigger groups, but unfortunately only 2 people rocked up for class today. So we've got Sienna and we've got Georgia. Now, so the main objective of this is to, again, it's like a continued warm-up, so, but it's more specific to the broad jump and jumping. So they'll start off with 2 feet on a coloured dot on a lily pad, and they basically just have to navigate their way around to the other lily pads, taking off on 2 feet, landing on 2 feet. Once they get the hang of that, then we can go into some jumping, using one leg and then switching to the other leg, which really kind of gets them to exaggerate the movements and positions that they do in a broad jump, like lifting the knee, dorsiflex. And then again, once they're confident with that, then we start moving these out further and further, get them jumping a little bit further, and then hopefully they'll start using their arms more. Yeah, you want to demonstrate? Very good. So then I'll follow that part of the session with some questions. So things like what made you jump further? So hopefully they answer things like deep squat, arm swing, what made it easier to jump further, what makes a good landing. So the next activity that we've got is called hoops and hurdles. Very simple, basically we've just got a coloured dot, which is the starting point, and Sienna's just got to try and do a jump and land inside the hoop. We've also got Georgia here standing on the side, so after each jump, Georgia's going to give Sienna 2 pieces of feedback, so one thing that she did really well, and another thing that she can work on for the next jump, whether it be deeper squat or bigger arm swing or more controlled landing. They're all things that she'll be looking for in the jump. And then a progression from that is once Sienna becomes more comfortable, we can start moving the hoop out a little bit further, and then to bring the height aspect of the jump into it, we'll put hurdles in of different sizes. So if you just want to demonstrate. Great work, Sienna. Okay, so the next progression is a progression of hoops and hurdles, which we turn into kind of like an obstacle course. So they'll be in their same pairs and just try to challenge each other. So we've got hoops and cones of different heights, and basically the idea is that they've just got to start off the coloured dot on 2 feet and just do a jump in between all of them. As they progress, then we can start moving things further out and switching things around, and get them to focus on being really quick off the ground. So if we just get Sienna to demonstrate. Beautiful. And then when we're questioning them after, sort of the same questions that we were asking before, but hopefully by now they've developed maybe some ideas as to how this relates to a standing broad jump, which will be the next focus of our activity. So yeah, we're just getting them kind of thinking down the path of a standing broad jump particularly. So the next part of the session will be focusing on standing broad jump. So I'll just start with an introduction as to what it is and why we're focusing on it today, which is for athletics and the inter-school sports team. Particularly, I'm sure this will catch Sienna's attention because that's the goal for her, to make the team. So yeah, we'll just keep them in their pairs, practicing the standing broad jump. So I'll do a few examples of what sort of like a poor standing broad jump looks like, and ask them questions, see if they can identify why one might be bad and why one's good. So we've got a skipping rope here. We unfortunately don't have a measuring tape, but we measured the skipping rope and that's 2 meters long. So that can kind of give us an indication as to how far they're jumping. Not that that's really necessary information at the moment because it's not the real test, we're just getting them practicing. So if we can just get Sienna to show us one, and we'll have Matt on the side, and the same thing that we were doing, Georgia, we'll have Georgia on the side. Same thing that we were doing before, just one positive piece of feedback and then one thing that they can work on for the next jump. So this is the last activity in the lesson. Basically, I'm just going to introduce them to a really simple little gym fitness strength circuit, and all these exercises, they really focus on muscular strength and power. So we've got things like squats, just body weight, no weights because they are only in primary school. And the main idea is that they've got a few exercises that they can take away, especially for Sienna. She can do these at home if she wants to really build up her muscular strength and power to make that team. So it's just a quick 5-minute circuit, and while one partner is exercising for 30 seconds, the other partner is resting, and they'll just keep switching over, do it continuously, have a break, and then they'll do it again, and that'll wrap up the session. So that's the end of the session. The teacher, I'll just finish off with bringing them all in together. I'll get them to come up with 4 things that they took away from the session, so 4 things that they can implement in the standing broad jump when they do the test. And then I'll sort of introduce them to how this might relate to long jump and triple jump, so they can kind of see how this applies to track and field and particular events in track and field. And that's the session. Thanks.